Hi, everybody. It's Mark Rushton of markrushton.com. It is Tuesday, December 21, 2021. And this video is called SoundExchange, Rights Owner Catalog and Artist Catalog. So this is this is a byproduct of me trying to get organized, trying not to be a disorganized recording artist. And so this all started when I wanted to dip my toe into the world of synchronization licenses, and I realized that I need to get better organized. And so I started using Airtable again. I found a really wonderful template for adding information into Airtable called Gizmo. I actually used the paid version of Gizmo called Gizmo Plus, and now I use Airtable Pro. I actually pay for it. And so it was a matter of collecting all of my song recordings and lots of metadata, coming up with the metadata, trying to figure out some way to easily compile that. And along the way, I have discovered some problems with my organizational processes. So I'm trying to correct those here while I'm on staycation from the day job. And so this is with regard to SoundExchange. And SoundExchange is the organization that, among other things, at least for me, they collect I believe it's mechanical royalties for radio spins, radio plays. So if you have tracks on the radio side of Pandora or on Sirius XM or something like Soma FM or the radio side of iHeartRadio and beyond that, lots of different areas where that is. You want to have all your titles and codes within SoundExchange. Otherwise, you will not get paid those micro fractions, and they add up too, especially when you have the number of recordings that I do. Now, I don't really do too much with radio. I do okay on Pandora. I'm starting to do better on things like iHeartRadio, and surprisingly on Sirius, something is getting played on Sirius XM, and that's great. But I got in here and I realized, and I got a payment recently. It had been a while, and I was like, oh, I thought all that stuff moved over to the MLC, and that's not the case. And then I looked into things, and I was like, oh, I haven't added any new titles to SoundExchange in like 3 years. Oh, what is my problem? Well, getting organized. What can I say? So if you look in here right now, and I'm sharing this information, I'm not going to share any of the royalty information or anything like that, but uh, you can see here that there's two columns. There's the rights owners catalog and the artist catalog. And so they are imbalanced. And the rights owner catalog is basically, these tracks here from the ingest form that I have added to SoundExchange, do it through a bulk upload. They have a template and all that sort of stuff where you can plug all your ISRC title, UPC, release date, all that sort of information in there. And then there's other things as well. And so those have been in there, and I think there's a period of time that needs to process. So that's why there's a bit of an imbalance there with between the two. But they will probably equalize here in the next couple of weeks. Of course, it is the holiday season. Probably a lot of people off work or things slow down, so that's expected there. But I had a little trouble understanding how this worked, and it was a little confusing. I think I've gotten the hang of it now, and that's kind of why I wanted to make a video about this. So this is when you log into SoundExchange, you go to Catalog, and you go to, let's go over here. You go over to Associated Recordings, and that's how you get this page. And then there's Search and Claim, which I'll go to next. This is the thing that really kind of screwed me up here. And it talks about claim as artist or claim as rights owner. And, there's a couple of blog posts here, and you could go to them. And actually, what I ended up doing was I ended up calling SoundExchange. They actually have phone customer service. I know it's a miracle and a rarity these days. And they picked up rather quickly. And she was wonderful, absolutely amazing, and explained it to me. I had to sort of walk through. So what you mean is this, and all this sort of stuff. And so I thought, well, if I could make a video, try to maybe kind of convey that, have it out there, and that's just a different additional way of people discovering this. So you can read these blog posts, but it's, to me, it's, it's like stereo instructions, right? How to connect up the. I'm not really that type of person. So the main thing here is when you get to search and claim, go to my catalog, search and claim. You don't want to claim as RO if you have a lot of titles. You want to claim as artist. So you go in here, and then you have this page here that looks a little scary here called Review Performer. And it's got all these codes and stuff like that. And you just want to, and as long as this is accurate and complete, which I guess, you go on to search for recordings. And here is where all the fun starts. And actually, it is quite fun. So one thing I learned very quickly, and I publish recordings under a lot of different artist names, is first thing you want to click is exact match. And in this case, you'll want to type out, like, say, maybe your artist name there. And once you type it out, a couple seconds later, the titles just start showing up. And if you have a lot of titles like me, you want to go to 100 per page. And as you can see on this particular page, if we hover over the I, it says you have a pending claim for this recording, which means I have been through here. So this is a track that I have uploaded through this import, this bulk upload file here, and it's in the process. And so there's like a claims process in there to get that associated with the artist. And one thing I learned about this page, and this is just a little quirk, if you click check all there, it only checks all on the page with regard to how many recordings you have. So if the default's 25, if you click all, it's not going to click 1 through 18. So what you have to do this, and then you have to go to each page and select all rows. If you do not have the little I down there, if it's like a new track or something you've added recently. So that's a kind of an odd quirk. Maybe they want you to be thorough. I'm not quite sure. There's another page further on there where in the process where clicking select all selects absolutely everything if you have pagination. So this is kind of interesting. I like this because it's you have the title, the recording artist, the ISRC, and then you have usage out there. So if that means I guess that means it has numbers out there. So eventually, I've either had payment on it in the past, or I may have payment on it in the future. That's how it kind of seems. And there are a few things out here that do have a little duplicate, and that is likely due to the track being released maybe as a single, and then maybe also either on an album or a compilation album, something like that. And then you have the refine or the repertoire or broadcast. And not quite sure what that means. Although some of these tracks here I know they've gotten streams on Pandora Radio. So that's probably what that is. Now, if you don't use exact match, then I also publish beat driven electronica under the name of Rushton. You'll get the Rushton, and you'll get the Mark Rushton, and you'll start getting other things too, like Ian Rushton, who that's not me, Ruby Rushton, Steve Rushton. And so that's why you want to use that exact match there. So you kind of Patricia Rushton. At a wedding, I saw my first love. Oh, that's very nice. So things like that. Now, I've gone through here and I have cleaned up everything with regard to all the artists up to now. I have some more things that I need to put into one of these bulk upload files and just kind of final mopping up or whatever. But you go through a process on this, and it's a way to go and let's do the exact match here. Make sure there's not anything out there. So I don't know if I can go through this anymore at this point because I haven't selected anything. I should have done that when I still had things to select, but it's a pretty simple process from here. You select the tracks that you want to claim, and then there's a thing, a lineup suggestion in there, and I always choose lineup number 1. I get that's for bands who have different lineups and have different splits with regard to these sorts of royalties, and that's neat. But I am Mr. One Stop, so everything I publish, I own the master recording and I own all my publishing on it. So that makes things easy. And then you just go through a claim process. You have to click a couple of clickety-click things, legal, make sure that you're not, don't cheat anybody. And then you submit it. And then you come back here and search for more. So uh, that is largely it with regard to that claiming process. Now I'm going to leave here because what I want to do is I want to go back to this page here. So eventually what'll happen is, because I have so many of these things in the works, eventually these two catalogs will equal out. And then again, you can go and read, let me go down here. You can go and read the blog posts on here, and that sort of explains why they have set it up that particular way. It's a little confusing to me, but as just a regular artist out there, going through that particular process and getting that done, eventually those will be the same there. And hopefully, if there's any sort of discrepancy or something, I can kind of figure that out. So anyway, that is it. So that is kind of the difference between the rights owner catalog and the artist catalog, and trying to get those equal in SoundExchange. Uh, there's likely some sort of benefit to that. And anyway, that's it for today. That's it for now. And talk to you later.